Ready? Hey folks, Fat Guys RC out here at the Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. Well, you can hear it in my voice. I've had this Skynetic Bison XL for several weeks now. And I'm not trying to cut the plane up, but I've had many, y'all seen how many planes over the years. I literally have probably owned 1,000 planes, literally. I'm not exaggerating. Over the years, bought and sold, traded. I have like 100 and some odd planes right now. A lot of them, I've had a lot of Dynams. I've had at least 50 Dynam airplanes. And all of them had either problematic builds or their builds were great. But usually with a Dynam, you expect the build to have problems. You have to be a little creative. I didn't expect it with Skynetic. I did not expect it with anything from Motion RC. But this build on this plane, I followed the manual and I followed along with Jake on his assembly video. This thing fought me tooth and nail. Okay? And long story short, I kind of burned a bridge with Motion RC. I got mad at them. I let go of my anger, and they were the plane back, and then I sold a couple planes, got some money. I said, no, I'll keep it. And then I unboxed it and started building it. Man, I wish I had taken them up on their offer to take the plane back, because the only impression I've got from the build, only from the build, is that I wish I'd never bought it. Okay? Here and now, after the build, it stayed true to the build and the things I found wrong. Number one, this servo on this flap didn't even work. It intermittent, like it had stripped gears. And of course, they're out of that servo, so I didn't even ask them for it, and I didn't really want to talk to them. The other issue, the light controller inside, I hooked it. There was very little on how to hook the lights up correctly, and I hooked them up both different ways, either using where you could turn the lights off with a switch, which is the intention. The intention is to be able to that the nav lights on either end stay on all the time, and then your landing lights, which is your red light on the belly, on the tail, and on the front, you can turn them on or off. Well, I got that working correctly. Then the light controller that was in the plane, I got it hooked up just the way he said. Light controller almost catches on fire. It gets so hot it melts. So now I have all the lights on a single switch. Not even on a switch, just wired directly into my bind port on my Gen 2 receiver. And guess what? Nothing's hot. But they're on all the time. I can't turn them on and off. I don't have a little interrupter switch. And my third gripe, which is a huge gripe, and whoever was the designer of this needs to be beat asleep. Okay? Camera crew lady, zoom in right here. You got the tail wheel? You there? Okay. Now, you've got this bar that comes out of either side of the bottom of the rudder, okay? And that's where you're supposed to hook up two springs, and then they attach to either bar, either side of the control arm on the tail wheel. Well, there's only about 1 inch of distance between. So springs are going to have very little purchase on that. It's like dragging your fingers and trying to move something on the ground with your fingers straight up and down. Who designed that? You'd have to have springs that don't even, not even springs, in order to. And I've used both sets of springs. I could only get maybe 2 millimeters of movement of this tail. And I understand the idea is to give it flex because of rough terrain, but you got to be able to turn the plane on the ground. You know, my rudder's full right, and it would take my entire field to turn this plane. No, that's not going to happen. Well, I need authority on the runway or authority on the grass to get, I got to have more wheel. 2 millimeters of movement ain't enough. Now, I've got plenty, because I took one of Motion RC's Free Wings Go Get 'em wires, cut it into 1.5 inch long pieces, used a crimping tool, a Z-bend tool, and basically they're in there hard direct. So that's what I got. Okay, so there's all my gripes about the plane as far as the build and the way the thing is designed and everything, and I got a lot of heartache with it. Now, let's hope this plane can redeem itself with its flight. Now, wheels are great. They've held air since I filled them up the first time. That does come with a bicycle pump. I'm running in my low rates right off the back because I've never flown it, which are 70% throws over 30% expo, right, left, up, down, right, left. Because I can't use the flaps because one servo, I went ahead and took the both servos out and they're not even hooked up. So basically, this is a 4-channel plane now with lights. So I can't even demonstrate the STOL capability. And the leading edge slats, oh yeah, one of my leading edge slats was badly warped. I had to keep working and working it to where it's somewhat symmetrical with the other one. Now, all the hardware is everything in place. I'm going to get 2 servos that are right for it, and then I'll hook those slats up, and then maybe then I'll try the STOL capabilities. But for right now, I'm just going to review the normal flight characteristics and the maiden of that. I've never flown this plane. All I've done is taxi it around to discover how bad that tail wheel design was. All right, motor on, timer set for 5 minutes. And we got more than enough runway. We're just going to go for it. Oh, I got a terrible vibration right off the bat. And those props are balanced. Now she's flying. Definitely got a vibration. I'm going to go to high rates.
Mid rates, high rates.
Really wanting to dive on me. And I've got that battery really pushed back. Figure out where that vibration is coming from. I balanced the prop. All right, let's see if I can figure that out. Motor off. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand behind the model. Are you need me to back up some? Okay, I'm going to stand behind the model. I'm going to brace it with my legs here. Turn the prop on, and what I'm looking for is I give this motor speed and it spins. I'm looking for a deviation and how that thing spins. I'm looking for a vibration. Maybe I can detect it. It's the spinner. Either the spinner or the prop shaft is bent, because the front of that spinner is just a vibrating, but actually, let me move the plane out some so I got a better background. Let me look at this prop as it spins. Now the prop is rock solid, or appears to be. Well, there's just a touch of vibration or deviation out the end, but there's a very definite little bit of a vibration, maybe a millimeter of vibration on the end of that spinner. Now as I get her up to speed, it gets out to speed, it straightens out a little bit. And all right, take time, but I'm not going to push it any further than that. I want to check that. I'll use my high rates this time. All right.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Just need a little bit of up elevator. little bit of right aileron is needed. But I don't dare take my hands off the sticks to do it. She's like a big drunk giant. Yeah. Yeah, she's like a big drunk giant who can't tell which way to go. There again, trim on the bench doesn't mean trim in the air. Like I say, this is the Maiden. Look at that. Look at my rudder. Look at my rudder. Brand new plane. Well, that explains why she well, I guess to be things on it require the rudder to get rudder authority. So you have to say goodbye to being able to drive the plane normally on the ground. Luckily, that's a hinge. That is that actually sits into these little grooves. I can probably fix that. Yeah, well, the heck with it. Here's my impression. I paid $399 for this plane. I have a very distinct feeling that I have lost $399. Or at least, you know, because if I want this thing to fly right, I got to figure out, I got to get new servos for it. And I've already forego my opportunity to return it with motion. And I just wish I'd never bought it. I wish I'd never got this plane. That's my review. They're not always glowing and nice, but whether it's I think the design and the idea behind the plane is awesome. The gear is absolutely stellar. The gear rivals Draco's gear. Okay, it's awesome. Clear canopy looks great for FPV. Plenty of power. It's got better than 1-for-1 ratio. But quality of parts and how she's put together, on a 1 out of 10 scale, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, I'm going to give it a -3. Flying, I'm going to give it a solid 3.5. You know, I don't recommend it at all, based upon my unit. So, Fat Guy Flies RC, you want honest reviews, and that's what I give. I don't like this. Y'all, don't forget, faith, family, and friends. And don't forget, pay attention to videos before you spend your money. Okay? Watch the videos. Watch, not just mine, watch everybody's videos. And if you don't see a lot of videos on a certain plane, that should tell you something. Bye, y'all.